Hi guys. Um, I want to tell my story because um I and excuse my pink eye and all that doesn't look that pretty because I I'm I'm physically not in the best state of my life. I want to tell my story um, because I think it's quite important, personally for me, um, because currently I have a lot of people in my life who see what I say critical or who basically just don't believe me. Basically, I'm looking for a doctor, not to get married, but someone who knows. So this is my this is my neck, my spine. This is from last Friday. And I have a CD where I have the same pictures from a hospital I went to. Sorry about that. Wait a second. So on that CD from a clinic in Frankfurt, I went to in basically a hurry. I've been looking for a doctor for, like, it started after COVID, but it is not really connected to COVID. It could be. It started in January after COVID, but I had symptoms before, like migraines and pressure in my head, pressure on my forehead, and in my neck. So sorry. I have to drink coffee too because I don't know how much time I have. So I show you the picture again. So this is my last vertebrae, or my first, or I don't know if that's the atlas. So anyway, I went to a billion doctors in the last couple of weeks, and they took every doctor basically took an X-ray and checked my spine and my head and told me everything was fine. I feel lots of pressure at the moment there, so I put the pictures away because they make me nervous. And I stopped drinking coffee maybe. I went to a clinic in Frankfurt. They took an X-ray, and that was one of the standing X-rays. And I looked behind me after that, and I was like, oh, that looks weird. And I saw, like, it looked like something was broken. And I waited and waited after that, and the doctor came back, and I saw some people looking at me. But probably I'm mentally just ill, so, like, doctors told me before without knowing me. They said, like, you're just mentally not the toughest. And so I thought I was waiting a long time, and then he basically showed me pictures that don't show what you can see on that X-ray, and they don't show what I ordered the CD after that, and I was like, oh, they probably have different pictures on that CD as well, but they showed the same basically that I got from the next day. So how do I feel at the moment? I feel like I don't feel my hands and feet anymore. I am basically not fully connected to my body anymore, physically, and which was a confusing experience because I was always very connected to my body, and then when so sorry, doctors basically told me I was mentally ill, I can't blame them. I look ill. Maybe because my spine is not okay. I was like, I hoped they were right, because the pain I feel in my neck, or like the pressure I feel in my neck, is really difficult to handle, and I hoped that they were right and it was just in my head. And I went to several doctors, and then like everyone said there's nothing. Like 2 doctors saw this picture and said like nothing is broken. And I was like calm for 5 minutes, and then I was like, I don't think they are telling the truth. And basically I looked for the reason why I know that they saw something they can't fix, or that's like pretty severe, is because the doctor in the clinic showed me different pictures than the one on the CD and the one I got next day. And the pictures I got next day, I only got because I took pictures with my phone, because I knew things could be difficult. And I asked afterwards if I can have the pictures, and they said, no, they are staying with us, but if you ever need them, we can give them to you. And I was like, that's weird, because I saw people going out with that folder, right? Where they have pictures from the x-ray or whatever. And so that's why I knew it was the correct pictures. And then they said like, you should do another test, like an MRT, where you go into that, which I did the last couple of weeks several times. But this time I went to doctors and said I fell down the stairs, and that's why they checked. Because before that I just said I have pain in my neck, I have pressure and pain in my neck, and I cannot feel my hands anymore, right? So no one would do anything or would tell me there's nothing wrong. So this time I lied, basically, to see if I get new pictures, and I did. And when they didn't want to give me the pictures, I knew it was the pictures were right. And I also have like a filling here, and it shows in one of those pictures. So from the dentist, I have filling here. And so basically, they told me nothing was broken, but I should get another test to see if my if all the ligaments and stuff are fine. and they gave me a list of doctors, and I was like, okay, cool. And she said, if you have a doctor, you get where you can get a quick test quickly, fast or soon. It's very important. Or she said like, and then just call us and tell us who, and very important where. And I was like, first I was like, okay. And then I was confused. And basically no one in my environment is believing me. When all the doctors told me like, it's fine, nothing is in your neck, and blah, blah, blah. And the doctor in the hospital acted really weirdly, because I told him, you know what? I've been going to so many doctors, and everyone told me I was crazy. Like, he was asking if I hear voices. And I was like, why do you feel the need to tell me I hear voices, when nothing is wrong with my neck? And then, it's so weird. The other doctor said like, I don't want to, accuse you of anything, when I was talking about my numb hands. My hands, I feel it sometimes more than others, but like it's mostly numb. And I was like, why would you accuse me of something when I come here with my pain? That's confusing. And I was never, when I was younger and I was looking for help with my thyroid issues and nobody would help me, I started to like stop putting doctors and everyone with a title on a pedestal, because that's what we do, especially in a country like Germany. We are like, I remember one doctor told me, like, if they find something, they will tell you, and like, you don't oversee anything in Germany, not in Germany. And I was like, what? We are so brainwashed, and I don't want to come up with like any kind of a conspiracy or whatever. I'm not saying, they all have a pact against me. That's not what I'm saying. It's just funny that one person shows me these kinds of pictures, the other person shows me these kinds of pictures, and all doctors ask me if I'm mentally okay when I have numb hands and pain in my neck, right? And then and it's really it's a really confusing situation for me, because I feel like I could die any moment, which makes sense, which makes things sometimes really like nerve-wracking, and sometimes, I don't know, like, I believe in new lives after that. So I'm not super scared of death, but I am scared of dying, of course, like everyone else, or most people. But it's like in a movie, like you are the crazy person because you are the only one. I don't know, like, it's funny because in my past lives I was killed several times for speaking the truth by cutting my throat or whatever. And I have a huge theme with my throat and my neck and my throat chakra. And then this lifetime, I might, I don't know, I hope not, but I might die because other people didn't tell the truth, and I kept telling the truth. And I kept asking for help for the last 8 weeks, and nobody helped me. And the big thing I understood by now is that I don't, it's not my karma anymore. To take that on when other people don't help me or kill me in public, basically, because that's what I've experienced the past lifetimes I've been in. I was killed in public for speaking the truth, or just probably just not fitting in, right? And it's nothing that I had a lot of dreams about that too, and it just makes sense. But it's such a weird situation. And I feel like, the numbness got just worse over the last couple of weeks. First it was just here, and then it was here and there. And I went to all the doctors, and they said like, oh yeah, maybe B12. And I'm like, I don't have a numb body because of B12. I don't know. And then I went to physiotherapy, and it makes it worse because after that I felt like my body was not at all connected to my head anymore. I felt like, it sounds so horrific, right? But it didn't feel my legs at all anymore, and mostly I don't feel them, but I'm still walking. It's very confusing. And it's confusing when everyone around you thinks you're just depressed, and you know exactly that you're not. And I was telling doctors, like, I know my body, I know that something is wrong, and they were like, you know your body, we know your body better because we studied your body. And I'm like, but you're not in my body. And they just all thought I was crazy. And yeah, it's a really funny way to leave the stage, because like you hope for harmony, you hope for being believed in, you hope for like being seen and heard and like supported in your sickness. But people just think you're depressed and you should go for a walk, and I'm like, no, there's something wrong with my neck. I cannot go for like too many walks and like do sports and like tidy up my room all the time because I feel like lying down. And it's, like for all the biology fans, and if there's a doctor, you can tell me what it is. But for all the biology fans or whoever watches this, like, it's interesting because, of course, in the beginning, I was constantly in panic, and then after a while, you just get used to it because you cannot be in panic mode for 6 weeks, and then you feel obviously tired and exhausted and sometimes just really scared and panicky. And then I take some pills, which I never did, and I never wanted to take antidepressants, but now I kind of do. Um, and I was asking so many doctors, like, "Hey, can you feel this thingy here? Can you feel that?" And I'm like, and they're like, "Yeah, but that's a muscle." And I'm like, "That's not a muscle. That's way too no, that's a muscle, but it's not a bone." And I'm like, if you look at the picture, it makes sense that there is a bone, which is scary as freak. And the funniest thing is that I still walk around, and I'm like, in the first times I wasn't hungry at all, and now I'm so hungry because I feel like there's not enough energy connecting to my brain and my body. Um, and every night I think like, this is my last night. I'm not waking up, and then I wake up and then I'm like, oh great, another day. Um, and yeah, it's super confusing because I was begging doctors and people you consider like, okay, a doctor helps me, policemen help me, politicians are guiding the country, and like, come on, people, wake up. How obvious is it, And I was never like, the last time I thought doctors were, in general, all of them great people was when I was 16. That like I stopped believing that. When people were like really arrogant towards me, a young woman, like, why would you be that arrogant? And it's funny because like in a few podcasts I was talking about doctors, and I didn't even know why, and now I understand why. um the doctor theme was so big for me, like the theme, like, oh, someone has a title, someone earns a lot of money, sometimes wears white, right? And you think like, oh, they know everything, they do everything for you, they do their best, and then you are here with a broken neck and they can't even tell you, which is actually the first thing they should learn, or they actually learn to tell you that there's nothing they can do for you. And it's so weird because I'm the tough one and you're the grown man not telling me the truth. That's like the most confusing thing for me. But maybe there's nothing with my neck and it's just like a little itchy there. And I have to deal with the fact, like I might be dying every moment, and people want to cheer me up and like do things with me and like, go for walks. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, because it could be my last walk. Um, and how does it feel? Yeah, it feels like my hands are numb, my feet are numb. It started with like numb, um, sweaty hands at night. I have a really dry mouth. I got really bad teeth the last couple of weeks. Really bad, like in a short amount of time, really bad teeth. Um, and it's um, it's confusing. Like the world is really confusing. Like the medical system, politics, economy, um, everywhere. And people tell me like they have they could lose their name, they could lose prestige and their status and whatever. And I'm like, yes, that's why they don't tell you things, because they could lose the status of like, doctors help you. Anyway, and of course this is not for all of the doctors, but what I experienced the last 8 weeks was just like plain and simple, like complete horror and complete like nonsense. And I'm the one like constantly begging people to tell me the truth, and all I get is not the truth. This is part 1. I'm gonna make another part, but that's it for today. Bye.